Phineas and Ferb needs no introduction, so I won't make one. Wait, anything? Never mind. Oh, Phineas and Ferb is a classic 2007 Disney Channel cartoon that ran for 4 seasons and a lot, like really a lot of specials, like holy fuck, there was a lot of them. With the recent revival coming this year to Disney Plus, I decided to rewatch some of the episodes of this great cartoon, and I wanna say there was one episode that caught my attention, and I wanted to talk about it because it's something alright. The episode being Remains of the Platypus, which is probably the most bizarre episode of the entire series. And now let me tell you why. So this episode starts immediately with God knows what happening. Doof is naked, Perry is his butler, Monogram is fat, Carl is a furry, and this.
Poi 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 and a doodle doodle doodle.
So the beginning was specifically made to be as weird and confusing for the audience as it can be. And I was like, okay, so now the actual episode is gonna start, right? And they will play like 12 hours earlier card, and the episode is gonna go to the beginning of the day, and we're gonna see what things happened that led up to all this, right? And I was kinda right, but also really wrong. Because after this, we get a 5 minutes earlier card, and then we have a scene of Monogram just being fat or whatever, screaming I won over and over again, I don't know. And after that we have a 15 minutes earlier card, and I'm like, oh, so that's how it's gonna be like. So instead of going to the beginning immediately after the opening and playing a normal episode then, they decided to play the scenes in the opposite order, starting with the ending and slowly going to the beginning. And this is a really cool and interesting setup for an episode. I always love whenever cartoons do something experimental in how they present an episode. Like this one episode of Family Guy where there is an audio commentary by the characters, or that Adventure Time episode that is in a circle, or whatever that was. It was cool though. Pretty cool. Okay. So, 15 minutes earlier, we see Monogram get fat by participating in cheese eating contest hosted by Phineas, and meanwhile, Carl is in a cage trapped by Doof, who turns on his vaporizer which makes the room be so hot he takes off his clothes. Okay, cool, we got two things cleared now, I guess. Then 25 minutes earlier, we see Phineas and Ferb open a Cheesetopia. It's like Utopia with cheese. And there Monogram joins the eating contest. Alright, I guess, let's move on. Then 20 minutes earlier, we see Carl climb on Doofenshmirtz building, dropping Perry's hat, making it Is that Forrest Gump? Making it follow the wind, finally landing in hands of Linda. Meanwhile, Carl gets finally trapped by Doof, explaining another thing. Alright, yeah, that's good, that's good!
Well now, it appears that fate has dumped our mysterious guest like an immense pile of assorted cheeses onto the lawn of my evil lab.
Then 25 minutes earlier, we have a montage of Perry being Doof butler, ending with Doof throwing Perry's hat off the building, landing in Carl's hands, who is on squirrel cone, and he decides to look into it. Okay, alright. And then 6 hours earlier, we see Phineas get a delivery of cheese into his backyard.
Hey, just dump it right there like a caged guy in a squirrel costume.
I see what you did there. Then 2 minutes earlier, we see Candy seeing all this from her window. And then 10 minutes earlier, we see Perry go on to do his mission. Alright. And 50 minutes earlier, we see the boys come up with an idea to make Cheesetopia. Then, 5 minutes earlier, we see that Phineas made like a machine that searches for a party for this little old dude and these British motherfuckers to find a party that they can join. Alright, I'm not confused at all. Not at all, boy. Okay, so now we are finally back in the present after explaining basically everything. Wait a minute. No, not basically everything. Why the fuck Perry is Doofenshmirtz's butler? That wasn't explained. Never mind, he saw something written on his chest and that made him remember what happened. So we see a flashback of Doof brainwashing Perry into thinking he is his butler. And before he did that, Perry wrote I fight evil on his chest so he can remember that he fights evil. Except he doesn't even finish writing this, but he has the full thing written on him in the present. But okay, whatever, I don't care really. This is Phineas and Ferb. They don't care about sense or normalness. They don't give a fuck what they do, they just wanna be funny. So Perv fights Doof, they conveniently use Vaporizer Innator to destroy Dystopian on accident, classic Phineas and Ferb fashion. Doof loses, everyone goes home, Buford says something funny, and the end, goodbye.
And scene.
Well, that sure was an episode of Phineas and Ferb. So, was it that great? Not really. It was a good episode, but it wasn't outstanding or anything. The way it was presented was really darn cool though, making for probably the most bizarre episode of the show. I recommend you watch it because of that, because it's really cool, yup. As I said before, I always been a fan of experimental episodes of cartoons, so this one ain't an exception. Pretty good episode. 7 out of 10. Sorry, my audio is shitty. This is the first time I record something. Thank you, good night, and happy birthday, you all.
She's in the bag, first I get the tag.